We first ran Magmar around about 2 years ago here together on the channel, but now it's time for Magmar to reach the end of the line. This is rapidly becoming one of my favourite series to produce here on the channel. I find it incredibly interesting to see just how much better, or in some cases worse, a Pokemon will do by starting at the very end of the evolutionary line. And if you find it interesting too, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Now, Magmar had its first run together starting as a Magby back in October 2022. And for the standards at the time, it did very well for itself. It finished in 8th place with a time of 1 hour 50 minutes and 45 seconds. I'm fairly certain we can beat that time in this particular challenge, and we'll start off by taking a look at the stats of our Magmar. We are level 5 with 23 HP, holding a berry with Ember, Leer, Smog and Fire Punch. And in the stats department, we've got 16 in attack, 12 in defense, 16 also in special attack, 15 in special defense, and 15 also in speed. They're the stats of our Magmar, the graphics are up and the challenge is underway. Now, unfortunately, at the time of recording, the red overlay wasn't working, so we're sticking with the traditional blue overlay for this challenge. Our first wild encounter was a level 2 Rattata and it went down in a single Fire Punch, and now we're ready to take on the first rival battle. And it's a bit of a no-brainer for what the rival will have. He's going to have Totodile throughout the course of this challenge, and a few Fire Punches combined with a burn knocks it out, and we are through him for the first time, and we can make our way towards Falconer's Gym. He is our first gym leader together. He is a flying type specialist, and he leads with Pidgey. We're going to use Ember against Pidgey, no sense in wasting our Fire Punches. However, we will swap to Fire Punch for the Pidgeotto, we'll knock it out in one hit, and we'll obtain the Zephyr Badge in a time of 6 minutes and 54 seconds. Second on the shopping block is Bugsy. He's the bug-type specialist who leads with Metapod. This is going to be a bit of a foregone conclusion for poor old Bugsy here. It's going to be 3 simple one-shots as we grow to level 20. We defeat Bugsy in a time of 12 minutes and 27 seconds. We cannot celebrate for too long though, because that dreaded Rival 2 is just around the corner. This can break so many good runs with momentum. Let's see how we get on in this particular instance. He's going to lead with Ghastly, and that's a nice, easy, free one-shot for us with Fire Punch. He sends out Croconaw, and Fire Punch is still the highest damage output we can do with any of our moves. A lucky critical hit means it goes down in 2. We'll finish off the Zubat in one shot, and we are through the rival for the second time in 12 minutes and 56 seconds. Let's try and keep this pace up as we take on Whitney. She's a normal type specialist who leads with Clefairy. Clefairy Metronome Sweet Kiss, which is incredibly rude, but fortunately for us it was an incredibly short confusion. We reduce the count's accuracy with a Mud Slap, and then we get to Fire Punching. 2 Fire Punches later, we knock it out, we grow to level 25, we decline the option to learn Smokescreen, and we get the plain badge in a time of 18 minutes and 21 seconds. That's one of our hardest battles of the challenge all done and dusted. Let's now have a little bit of a respite as we take on the rival for the 3rd time. Our coverage is greatly improved in this battle because we've now got Thunder Punch as well as Fire Punch. We're going to use Thunder Punch against the Croconaw to knock it out in 2 hits, and here comes Zubat. Zubat is of course weak to Thunder Punch, so it goes down in 1. We'll swap back to Fire Punch for the Magnemite, we'll knock it out in a single hit, and with the rival taken care of, once again we'll fall through the floor and we'll end up in front of Morty. Morty is our 4th gym leader together. He is the Ghost and Poison dual-type spectacular leader, and he's going to lead with Ghastly. We're going to continue Fire Punching as we have for the majority of this particular challenge, because it seems to be doing very well indeed. We get Mean-Looked by the Gengar, so that means we are not at risk of being Dream Eaten, and that means that quick Ecruteak City has paid off. That's the Fog Badge in 23 minutes and 19 seconds, and our 5th gym leader is Jasmine. We're doing her out of sequence today because we're the Fire type, and she leads with a Magnemite that's already fainted. We get very high damage against the Steelix, but not quite enough to one-shot, so she gets herself caught in a healing loop, and that just means there's 1 Magnemite left to go. A single Fire Punch takes care of Jasmine once and for all, and we get the Mineral Badge in 27 minutes and 49 seconds. A quick surf over the ocean brings us to Chuck. He is our 6th gym leader together, a fighting type specialist who leads with Primeape. We're going to start off with a Sunny Day, not only to boost our fire type moves, and to give us some insurance against this Poliwrath. It didn't matter in the end though, because we one-shot the Poliwrath and we have defeated Chuck to obtain the Storm Badge in 29 minutes and 36 seconds. A quick rocket section later and we are against Price. He's the Ice-type specialist who leads with Seal. Thunder Punch is a one-shot against the Seal. It's going to be 2 shots against the Dugong, but that Dugong doesn't have any water-type moves. And then we'll swap to Fire Punch for the Piloswine. It's a one-hit wonder to defeat Price, and we obtain the Glacier Badge in a time of 36 minutes and 44 seconds. And with 7 gym badges to our name, that means just one thing. It's time for the 4th and penultimate rival battle, and this time he's going to lead with Golbat. We're going to use Flamethrower against the Golbat to knock it out in one shot, and we'll swap to Thunder Punch for Feraligatr. It's a 2-shot against Feraligatr, but Feraligatr has no special attack, so Water Gun does next to nothing. It's back to Flamethrower for the Haunter, and we'll do exactly the same against Sneasel Pleasel as well. Suddenly the rival only has 1 Pokemon left to his name. It's a Magnemite. It's got no special defense. It's weak to fire. It's a little bit overkill, but we are through the 4th rival battle and can make our way towards Claire's gym. Claire is our final Johtonian gym leader, a Dragon-type specialist who leads with Dragonair. Now we've got to play this one a little bit smart. We've got to set up the Sun to make sure that Kingdra's Surf does not do huge damage. We can then get her into 2-shot range with Return, and the rest of the battle is fairly easy. Return is more than capable of one-shotting both of Claire's final Dragonair, and with that, we have defeated Claire. That's our final Johtonian gym badge in a time of 48 minutes and 12 seconds. Let's now make our way towards Victory Road, where the rival is going to ambush us for one last time. So let's see if he can pose any threat whatsoever this time. It's not a good start for him because he leads with Sneasel Pleasel, and we take care of that in a single return. We'll go to Thunder Punch for the Feraligatr, and the same thing happens as in Rival 4, almost but not quite knocking it out and taking minuscule damage from Water Gun. Golbat's a one-shot with Thunder Punch, and we'll swap back to Flamethrower for Haunter. One hit takes care of it. We'll do the same against the Kadabra, and he's only got Magneton left. Magneton is incredibly weak to fire. We knock it out in a single hit, and we say goodbye to the rival for the final time in 51 minutes and 11 seconds. And with that, we're at the Pokemon League, so we'll heal up our Pokemon whether we need it or not, and now it's time to say thank you to the HM friends. So it's a big thank you to Kenya, to Abra, to Psyduck, and merci to Paris. You've all been a great help in the Johto region. Get yourself some well-deserved rest as Magmar prepares to take on the Pokemon League. Before we go into the league, we'll take a look at our stats, and we are level 51 with 158 HP, holding the pink bow with Flamethrower, Thunder Punch, Sunny Day, and Return. We've got 138 in attack, 96 in defense, 144 in special attack, 128 in special defense, and 131 in speed. Those are the outer battle stats. We'll get a big boost in battle thanks to the badge boosts, and we'll see that against Will. He's our first league member who leads with Xatu. Xatu's a simple one-shot, and we are on to Slowbro. Even Amnesia will not save Slowbro from a pair of Thunder Punches, and will Thunder Punch the second Xatu as well. Will's getting desperate now as he sends out the Executor, the first of 2 Pokemon that are weak to fire. We take care of that with a single Flamethrower. We'll do the same against the Jinx. We'll grow to level 52, and we are through Will in a time of 52 minutes and 22 seconds. Our second league member is Koga. He's a Poison-type specialist who leads with Ariados. Unfortunately for poor Koga, he's got 3 bug types on his team, and that means there are 3 guaranteed one-shots. We're onto the Muk, but even the evasion boost from Minimize doesn't save him there, and that brings us on to Crobat. We're going to continue using Flamethrower as he double teams and gets himself caught in a little bit of a healing loop. 2 further Flamethrowers knocks it out, and then it's going to be a nice simple Flamethrower to finish off the Venomoth. That is Koga all defeated in a time of 52 minutes and 59 seconds. Our third league member is Bruno, a fighting type specialist who leads with Hitmontop. It's going to be 2 shots on the Hitmontop, taking a little bit of damage from Dig, and he sends out Onyx. Bruno thinks he's being smart, but little did he know we have our secret weapon here, Hidden Power Ice, to knock it out in one. We'll swap back to Flamethrower for the Machamp and take a fair bit of damage from a Rock Slide. Machamp gets itself caught in a healing loop, and we knock it out with 2 subsequent Flamethrowers, and the penultimate Pokemon is Hitmonlee. It's a one-shot on the Hitmonlee with Return, and we'll do exactly the same against the Hitmonchan. Even the guaranteed damage cannot save Bruno here, and we are through him in a time of 53 minutes and 54 seconds. Our final league member is Karen, the Dark-type specialist who leads with Umbreon. We get sand attacked, and that means we are low accuracy for the rest of this battle. We're going to continue using Flamethrower and hope for the best though as she sends out her Murkrow. We get our first miss, but Feint Attack deals very little damage to us. We're still on 145 for the Houndoom. We miss again against the Houndoom, and Crunch deals a fair amount of damage. Karen does get caught in a healing loop, and providing all our moves hit, we should still be able to get through this battle. Flamethrower connects against the Vileplume, we knock it out in one, and we defeat the Pokémon League in a time of 54 minutes and 48 seconds. There's only one obstacle between us and the Hall of Fame now. It's time for Lance, the Liar with the Flyers, and he's going to lead with Gyarados. Now, because we've got Thunder Punch and Gyarados is 4 times weak to it, there's only one dangerous Pokemon in this battle. That's this Aerodactyl, but its Rock Slide misses and we are through it without taking any damage whatsoever. The rest of the battle should be incredibly easy from here on out. We've got Hidden Power Ice for all 3 of the Dragonite, and then the best move that Charizard has is Hyper Beam. It's not going to deal anywhere near enough damage for us to be in danger though. Even with a critical hit, it wouldn't have mattered. We can use one last Hidden Power Ice against the final Dragonite, and that means we have defeated Lance in a time of 55 minutes and 45 seconds. Our final Hall of Fame time is 56 minutes on the nose. I'm always happy to get a sub 1 hour Pokemon League, and Magmar has done very well. There's still 8 gym badges plus the red fight left to go though, so don't you dare go anywhere. Kanto is next. And we rejoin the action here in Vermilion City, where the first thing we do in Kanto is the last thing we do in Johto. We're going to get another rare candy, this time from the chairman of the Pokemon Fan Club. And with that safely tucked away in our bag for another challenge, we can make our way into our first Cantonian gym together. And I am very pleased to announce that Magmar is more than capable of taking the standard Cantonian routing, and that means our first Cantonian gym leader together is going to be Lieutenant Surge. For those of you who want to skip the Kanto chat, we are going to be rejoining the action at around about 14 minutes and 15 seconds. For everybody else, settle down and let's have a little chat. And in this one, I want to have a little chat about the state of the channel and things that are going to be changing in the future. As you may or may not know, we're very quickly approaching the end of the main series challenges. We've not got that many Pokemon left to do, we're over 3/4 of the way at this point, and that means we're going to have to reduce the number of main series challenges here on the channel. For most of the time when I've been posting here on the channel, we've seen 2 main series challenges a week. However, that's now going to drop down to 1 on average, and in its place we're going to see a healthy mix of backports and redos of some of the older challenges that I think I can get significantly better times with. There are a lot of challenges, especially from the early days here of the channel, that can definitely get a significantly improved time. And if there is a Pokemon that you think either I played really badly, or it could just be your favourite Pokemon that you want to see have another bite of the cherry, please do let me know down in the comments below. I am all ears for suggestions as to which Pokemon should get their redos first, and I think it's inevitable that at some point the lion's share of the leaderboard will have a redo to its name as well. It's just the nature of challenge running, the more you do it the better you get and the quicker times you get, so some of those older challenges definitely do need an update, so we have a more fair and more up-to-date representation of their abilities on the leaderboard. And as for the backports, I have taken all of your feedback into consideration. We're going to be running a healthy mix of some middle-of-the-road Pokemon, some absolutely terrible Pokemon, and we're also going to be working our way through the legendaries of every single Pokemon game as well. At the time of recording, I have just spent the last couple of days making all of the backports for the Generation 3 legendaries, so that means we're going to be seeing Groudon, Kyogre, Rayquaza, Latios and Latias all in fairly rapid succession getting their backport challenges as well. And I had a little fun idea. When we've done every single generation of legendary Pokemon, I want to average all of the times for each generation to try and get a definitive answer for which generation has the best legendaries to run in Generation 2. Groudon, Kyogre and Rayquaza will get very good times, but when it comes to the Eon duo, we're going to be starting with Psywave only, and that could really hold back a lot of the Generation 3 legendaries. And then there's also another set of legendaries from Generation 3, the 3 Regis. In Generation 3, they all start off with just Explosion, and that would mean their challenge runs are impossible to complete. However, in Generation 4, they all get a second starting move as well. So in the interests of not wasting time backporting impossible Pokemon, we'll go with the Gen 4 learn sets, and we'll see how they take it from there. But let's now rejoin the action here at Blue. He's our final gym leader together, a mixed type specialist who leads with Pidgeot. We start off with a Thunder Punch against the Pidgeot, we take it deep into the red and we paralyse it as well for good measure. Wing Attack hits us for a little bit of damage as we grow up to level 63 and the second Pokemon is Rhydon. We've still got Hidden Power Ice on the learn set, so that makes that a simple one shot. We've got Thunder Punch for the Gyarados. That's one of the great things about Magmar, we've seen it from beginning to end, we have such great coverage, and this amount of coverage means we have an answer for almost anything that's put in front of us. We're going to take some guaranteed damage courtesy of Extreme Speed, but 2 returns knocks out the Arcanine, and we can then finish off the final Executor with a single Flamethrower. We grow to level 64 and we defeat Blue in a time of 1 hour, 9 minutes and 36 seconds. And with that, there's only one more battle between us and our final leaderboard time. It's time for the final battle of the challenge. It's Red who leads with Pikachu. Flamethrower is currently a range against the Pikachu at level 64, but we're going to keep on this battle just to get info about the rest of Red's team. We don't really get an opportunity to do it in this particular battle though, because when Espeon uses Psychic it critical hits and takes us all the way down to 5 HP. We're going to use our first 3 rare candies, so we're now up to level 67. At level 67 Pikachu is completely irrelevant, Flamethrower is now a guaranteed one shot. It's now going to be a guaranteed 2 shot against the Espeon as well, and this time Espeon did not crit us. This is the big dangerous Pokemon in this battle though. This Blastoise can hit like a truck. Even with the Sunny Day nerf, Surf is still hitting incredibly hard. We're going to use another 3 rare candies and get our way up to level 70. Let's see if we can get through the Blastoise at this level. We know that Pikachu's irrelevant and we're going to try setting up this time against the Espeon. That will give us at least 1 turn of a boosted Flamethrower if we need that against the Blastoise. We're at 151 HP for the Blastoise. Thunder Punch is now a 2-shot range for the Blastoise, but we low roll and we take huge damage from Surf once again. We're going to use our final 4 rare candies and get our way up to level 74. We know that Pikachu's irrelevant, but we're going to try our setup against it instead of the Espeon, because that means we should hopefully get through the Espeon without taking any damage whatsoever, and any damage we took from Pikachu will be fully healed up by the time that the Blastoise comes out. The sun is still up, and that means that he's going to waste a turn using Rain Dance, and that gives us the in to get through Blastoise. We are now onto the Snorlax for the first time. We used Sunny Day on turn 1, but he uses Amnesia, and that is terrible for us. He starts to Body Slam, we use a Flamethrower, and we get the burn, but then he gets the paralysis back. Desperate times call for desperate measures. We're going to get rid of Return and we're going to replace it with Swagger. The plan now is to incapacitate as many opponents as possible. We'll start with our regular setup against the Pikachu using Sunny Day into Flamethrower. We'll continue the Flamethrower against the Espeon. It's going to be a 2-shot, and the third Pokemon is Blastoise. We're going to use Thunder Punch on turn 1 to take it deep into the yellow. The Rain Dance happens and we knock it out on turn 2. It's now time for the Snorlax and we use our Swagger. We are going to do everything we can to prevent this Snorlax from hitting us. We're going to set up the sun as Snorlax hits itself for the first time. Flamethrower takes it into the yellow and he hits himself for the second time. We low roll on turn number 3 though, and the Snorlax sends itself to sleep. Normally that wouldn't be an issue, but Snore critical hits while Snorlax's attack is boosted, and that takes us deep into the yellow. We Swagger again, but Snore hits again and knocks us out. Back to square when we go. I think we're on the right lines though, we just have to get incredibly lucky. An unnecessary critical hit knocks out the Pikachu and we are back onto Espeon. We know Flamethrower is a 2-shot against the Espeon, but this time it decides to use Psychic. That means we're on lower health for the Blastoise, but it's not the end of the world. He's always going to use that turn 1 to set up the rain, and that means Blastoise is no longer a threat. The big threat of this battle is Snorlax instead. This time he hits himself in confusion before getting an Amnesia up. He hits himself for a second time, and then we get to Flamethrowering. We take it deep into the red as Snorlax eventually gets an Amnesia off, but it's altogether too late. We're going to Thunder Punch the Charizard, it's looking like it's going to be a 2-shot. We knock that out in 2 hits, and now the final Pokemon is Venusaur. Venusaur is a very nice and easy finish. We knock it out with a single Flamethrower, and we defeat Red in a time of 1 hour, 18 minutes and 6 seconds. Goodness me, the Bumhead Fireduck had a bit of a tricky time there at Red, but 118.06 is more than enough to take it into first place on the end of the line leaderboard. That pushes Jinx down into second place, Omastar's in third place, and poor Kabutops has been knocked off the podium. But with that, we are done. So if you have enjoyed this challenge, please do make sure to leave a like. If you want to see more challenges just like this, then click the subscribe button. If you've got anything at all to say, leave it in the comments down below. And until next time, when Dodrio gets a second chance for glory, I'll say thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all very, very soon.